I'm going to cover. My purpose is not to change your religion. My purpose is not to make you believe everything that I say. On the contrary, I'm the only one in the world that will tell you, listen to everyone, read everything, believe absolutely nobody, including me.
Hello everyone, this is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth TV. As technology continues to advance on an exponential curve, the global elite are continuing to find new and innovative ways to track and trace everything you do. We are already under the watchful eye of Big Brother through the monitoring of our online activity, but now the elite want to take it one step further by collecting your biometric information. In fact, one of the biggest and boldest steps in this direction is currently underway in India, where all 1.2 billion of its residents are currently being outfitted with a unique identification number.
India's unique identification program started just a year ago. If it succeeds, India will become the first country in the world using biometric data for identity purposes on a national scale. Its first phase is aimed at the poor.
Each number will be tied into 3 pieces of biometric data: fingerprints, iris scans, and a picture of the face. The biometric identity number will be entered every time someone accesses services from government departments, driver's license offices, and hospitals, as well as insurance, credit card, telecom, and banking companies. They are currently processing over 1 million people a day. Now, they say that it is not mandatory, but if you want to have a bank account, if you want to have a driver's license, if you want access to government services, hospitals, food programs, you're going to have the number, so essentially you do need to get it. Mahatma Gandhi must be rolling in his grave. As the founding father of an independent India, he was known for his resistance to tyranny through massive civil disobedience. But sadly, now India has become the testing ground for an eventual global cashless society. Canadians are also slowly going down this path. In fact, according to Citizenship and Immigration Canada, implementing biometrics will bring Canada in line with other countries. And the linking of our biometric information on a shared database with the American authorities is moving us another step closer to a North American Union. There are products available on the market, such as this RFID blocking passport cover, so that you can protect your information. You see, in this Big Brother Orwellian nightmare, people being treated like criminals will become second nature, and the ones who are pulling the strings know that it works best if you train them when they're young. This is well underway and currently being carried out by the Free Masonic Lodges of Canada through their initiative, Masonichip, which stands for Masonic Child Identification Program, where parents are being encouraged to give their child's biometric information to the Masons for safekeeping in order to track a missing child. Freely handing over our biometric information is currently being normalized through products like Siri's voice recognition app for the iPhone and the Xbox Kinect, which scans all of your features. Remember, our liberties are taken away from us incrementally, so let's fight this every step of the way and not be treated like criminals by handing over our fingerprints and eye scans. Gandhi showed us by his example that non-violent civil disobedience does work. So as this agenda continues to develop, let's just simply not play along. Global non-compliance is an idea that scares the elite. So let's make it happen.
Now we're going to go to another clip, this time by RT, as they caught up with Alex Jones yesterday at Bilderberg, and Alex explains how the elite are meeting in secret to plan a one world bank and a total cashless society control grid.
As they begin arriving in the next few hours, it's Bilderberg 2012.
trying to push a global bank as the solution to all our problems that they created. They're openly trying to push more police state systems. They want to end internet freedom. They want to bring in internet IDs. Members of the Bilderberg Group have said this.
And as you heard in that clip, Alex Jones mentioned the electronic ID system, and I think this is what concerns me the most about this year's meeting at Bilderberg is the push for a mandatory electronic ID system. Now, there are two attendees, regular attendees, I might add, that are there meeting in secret that are involved in this. One of them is Neelie Kroes, and she is the European Union's Digital Agenda Commissioner, and she is working overtime, trust me, to get this mandatory electronic ID system in place. Meanwhile, we have, in America, we have the head of the NSA, General Keith Alexander, and he's working hard as well in his creation of the what they call the U.S. Cybercom. Now, these two have been paired up during the entire conference, and they are pushing for a mandatory electronic ID system. And basically, this will phase in the total cashless control grid. And, and then eventually after that, this is one step closer to the mark of the beast system. So this is very alarming, and we must point attention to all this. I also want to point out that, the technocrats are also there, all these guys from the Silicon Valley and Facebook. They're there to data mine, share all the intelligence, all the data mining to the intelligence communities. And a couple of Mitt Romney's advisors are also in attendance, and one of them, name is David Kagan. He had some interesting things to say about Bilderberg, and this is what he said. This is a quote from David Kagan, The meeting merely represents a lot of vaguely uninteresting people giving vaguely uninteresting lectures and then having nice meals in nice places. Of course, downplaying the whole significance of the Bilderberg meetings. And, maybe that's why the mainstream media has been uninterested in reporting Bilderberg meetings all these years, because it's full of vaguely uninteresting people. Come on, man, give me a break. Nothing interesting, right, about the world's top power brokers getting together and discussing policy, creating policy of global significance. If you think about it, the euro was created at Bilderberg. The euro was created at Bilderberg. Are you listening? The Washington Post, okay, they are a creature of Bilderberg, all right? So it's not like the mainstream media wasn't invited, okay, because they're there every year. Their CEOs are there. Their representatives are always there. Do we have that quote? I know we're going to save it for the end of the day, but can we just play it right now? Let's quote. This is the David Rockefeller quote. Speaking of the Washington Times. All right, here's a quote from David Rockefeller. We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time Magazine, and other great publications whose directors have attended our meetings and respected their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. Boy, look at that face. That's a face, I don't even know if a mother could even love that face. That guy is scaring me. He continues, it would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during those years. But the world is more sophisticated and prepared to march toward a world government. The supernatural sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national autodetermination practiced in past centuries. So there you have it, folks. The mainstream media is fully aware of Bilderberg because they're there themselves. They attend every single time. Mainstream media is there to distract, to divide and conquer. That is their job. They want to trick you into this false left-right system, the false left-right paradigm, as Alex Jones has coined that phrase. It's, Republican versus Democrat, liberal versus conservative, MSNBC versus Fox News, Keith Olbermann versus Bill O'Reilly and Rush Limbaugh, Romney versus Obama. It's a lie. It's a never-ending circle jerk, and it's got to stop. It's total lie. It's a two-party system in this country is a complete fraud. It is a two-party dictatorship. Okay, let's get that straight.
Hi, everybody. Apparently, Obamacare requires an RFID chip implanted in everybody. The chip will not only contain your personal information with tracking capability, but it will also be linked to your bank account. And get this, page 1004 of the new law, dictating the timing of this chip, reads, and I quote, "not later than 36 months after the date of the enactment." It is now the law of the land that by March 23rd, 2013, we will all be required to have an RFID chip underneath our skin, and this chip will be linked to our bank accounts, as well as have our personal records and a tracking ability built into it.
Finally from us this evening, technology on the cutting edge. We were interested today to hear that more than 100 law enforcement officials in Mexico are having microchips implanted in their arms. The chips allow a person to be scanned, sort of like a cereal box at the supermarket checkout. In Mexico, this will be one more tool in the fight against crime. Here's ABC's John McKenzie.
You've seen it before, right out of Hollywood.
It's maybe a little uncomfortable.
A microchip inside the body. A hidden, high-tech identification tag.
They're the access codes to your job spot.
Now, Mexico's Attorney General and 160 of his deputies have had microchips implanted in their arms to control access to the country's new Criminal Investigation Center. It is to provide access, said the Attorney General, to the right people in exclusive areas where there is valuable, sensitive information. The microchip, the size of a grain of rice, is injected under the skin and gives off a low-frequency radio wave. A scanner reads each chip's identification number to verify an official's security clearance.
The microchip is tamper-proof, it's secure, no one can take your microchip and use it to their advantage to gain access to your facility.
The chip, developed by Applied Digital Solutions, is similar to those used in the U.S. to identify and return runaway dogs. In humans, it can have several uses.
It'll stick.
The chips can also be programmed to carry medical information. The one in this patient details his blood type, allergies, and the fact he has Alzheimer's disease. The device is now awaiting approval from the Food and Drug Administration. Some researchers are developing microchips for use in the home so that wearing one can turn on lights and open doors. Hands-free. The next step, say researchers, is developing an implantable chip with a global positioning system to track people miles away, whether kidnapped or lost, just as cars can now be traced. A kind of LoJack for the body. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
That is our report on World News Tonight. I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good evening. Good night.